Triumph Productions.
Yes, my name is Pastor Efrem. I'm pastor in the church, Calvary Chapel in South London, Dulwich. I'm also one of the leaders of outreach ministry called Urban Mission, working in schools and on the streets around London and the country. I've previously been involved in music ministry for about 15 years. A group called MOD, Ministry of Defence. Apparently we were the first UK group to feature on a US release as Christian rappers, and so it's been a long journey, and I'm continuing to love the Lord. He's faithful. Listen, one of the struggles that I faced when I came to the Lord was music, because in many ways music was an idol, music was an issue in my life. Hip-hop was just blowing up. I'm a lot older than people say that I look, and you know what, I was kind of there when it was blowing up in the UK, and I was into hip-hop hard, into all of the originals. I mean, people chat about Run DMC, I go back before Run DMC, and it's a thing where when I was coming to the Lord, I was really struggling because I knew that I couldn't enjoy hip-hop the way that I used to, the way that I did even at that time, and it was something that caused me to even delay committing my life to the Lord, because I was like, boy, how can I give up this music that I love so much? And even though back then it wasn't that bad, it's not as bad as like foul as it is now in terms of its content. A lot of it was about skills and a lot of it was about good times. But at the same time, there's chat about women and so on in a way that, you know what, I couldn't back that as a Christian. And so when I committed my life to the Lord, I was like, boy, you know what, chop on that, man. I shelved it, put it away. And it was drawing at my soul, it was dealing with me, and I joined the choir, man. I was like, well, you know what, that's all there is, isn't it? Because there weren't no Christian hip-hop there, don't get it twisted. Joined the choir, started singing in the group and that. But I always had a love for this music. And one of the things I realised was that even apart from the music, people in the world, my friends in the world, weren't listening to choir. They weren't interested in choir. My friends in the world weren't trying to hear no singing like that. And I was like, boy, you know what, Lord, is there any way that I can use hip-hop and use it to glorify you? And I began to explore, and people was like, no, that's not of God. Hip-hop's of the devil. And then when I looked at the scripture, I began to recognize that, you know what, Romans 1 says that God is the God of all creation, and in all creation, his invisible attributes, his invisible characteristics are manifested and made plain in terms of the fact that there is a God. And I realized that, you know what, music is a part of God's creation. And so what's the difference between someone who plays a C on the keyboard, who's a Christian, and someone who's not? Some people say, oh, the spirit behind the music. But you know what? That doesn't get communicated through the music. Yes, we realize the intent that they use it for, and that is what's wrong, but the music itself isn't. And so it's like, okay, so those drum beats, classic hip-hop beats I was listening to, it's like, oh, how can that beat be wrong? It's what you use it for and the content that you put with it. And so from that, I just began to explore the scriptures and realize that, you know what, to the pure, all things are pure. And so therefore, I could take that which was not immoral and use it to glorify God. So it's like, okay, yeah, we started rapping, started spitting. And then it was like people were still against us, but we saw God using it to reach a generation of people, and especially in the church, because there was bare people in the church struggling, listening to secular music, going clubbing and whatever, because they never had nothing that they could really relate to. So when we began to get involved here in the UK, there was only a few people, man like Gifted, doing hip-hop, man like Watchmen, one group called M Days. There's like a couple of people in the UK doing this thing. We saw God raise up a people, raise up a generation that, you know, us doing it became the birth of Urban Mission. And so
God laid all our beats upon him, betrayed by all them peeps he called friend, mocked by the soldier, death getting closer, struggle with the cross down the Via della Rosa. Peter, I told ya, see the cocks crow, just saying I don't know ya, remember I told ya.